Hello. Tim March here, McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas. It is May 30th. We have, or is it today the 31st? Today's the 31st. Didn't change my calendar. It is the 31st, last day of May, and we are moving on to June, which I'm pretty excited about because there's a lot of things happening in June. For one, should get our expedition this June. So got that email yesterday on Memorial Day. So very happy, made the wife happy to know that our vehicle is coming and should be here between June 23rd and the 29th. It hasn't actually shipped out of the factory yet, but it is done. They said they've released it and they're just waiting for shipment. So excited about that. The Lightning's supposed to be getting built here in a couple weeks on June 13th. So very excited. Great things to happen here coming up this June and getting a little bit closer to that 23 production on a lot of models. So hopefully we get some information this June as well on some things happening. So and welcome a couple new members to the group here. Of course, if you're not subscribed, don't forget to make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and hit the notification bell so you get notified that we are going to be going live, or we are live, or we do have a video going live. So you want to make sure you're doing that. But also, if you want to become a member, like Johnny as well as Hector there. If you want to do that, you can do that on any of our videos. Of course, on the live stream here as well. If you're on a desktop, it's just click down there by the subscribe button. If you're already subscribed, it'll say subscribed, and then that join button. Click on that and get a little more information about our membership and different things and perks that we do. Just my way to be to get a little bit closer to everybody there that wants to learn more about McArthur and about the Ford Video Guy. Also, we are going to be recording this as a podcast as well, and I've added a couple more podcast apps here. As you can see there, now we're quite a few. It is uploaded to Podbean, and then of course pushed to a lot of different ones there. If you maybe see one of your favorites there, hopefully check it out. Search for Ford Video Guy, you'll find it. Apple Podcasts hopefully will be ready next week. I did venture to do that, but I'm not an Apple guy, but I did go ahead and sign up for that. I had to do an Apple ID and put in my credit card and everything. So they're making me jump through hoops, but hopefully it's right now it's in pending status, and we'll get that one up and running this week, as well as I am also waiting on one other one. I can't remember which one, but Pandora too as well. So we might add a couple more to that by next week, but your favorite podcasting channels, we should be out there and available if you want to listen to this later. Or if you are listening to us, come join us live in person, so you can see me just sitting at a desk talking to people and talking about different things. But so I hope you enjoy that. Now, if you have any questions later, hopefully I'll have a chance to answer all your questions in the chat here. I'm going to break it down and make sure here in about 16 minutes, we'll do an Is It True? And then at 26 minutes, we'll talk about our topic of the week here. And then outside that, we'll answer some questions here and there. We'll get into scheduling in just 1 second. But if you I missed your question for some reason, put it in the fordvideoguy@gmail. And I actually was really good this weekend. I took the weekend off, didn't answer any questions in there on Sunday or Monday. In fact, Saturday as well, because I was pretty busy Saturday. So I will be answering those questions here next couple days. So definitely drop those in there if I didn't get your question answered on the live stream here. And just to kind of let you know about some videos coming up, I did recently had a video on the 23 Maverick, some 12 changes from you guys, as well as some things that I noticed. Like I mentioned in that video, the 22 Ford Maverick, there's nothing wrong with that product. It's a great product. Just a couple things that I thought they could tweak on. I know they're always looking for advice, and I was very pleased. I did send the link to the video to the brand manager, and he watched the video and said, I think it'll be amazing. I think you'll be happy. Several of these changes we already are planning to have for 23, and we are taking feedback so we can make changes midway through 23 as well. So they are very receptive to getting feedback from us on different things like that. So I think that's really pleasing to hear that they're willing to take that feedback. Also this week on Saturday, I did record a 22 Expedition Timberline edition. Got our first one in. It's actually a stock one that's on our website. And I did a video on that. So that one took me a little while. There's a lot of equipment on there. Great vehicle. And if they made that an extended length, maybe Timberline is what we would have gone over with this, because we love the tangerine accents that they call it on the vehicle, but just looks great, and a great off-road vehicle as well. And then don't forget, we'll be on Facebook Live this week, Thursday night, 6 p.m. And don't forget to mark your calendars for August 13th for here in Salina for a Maverick event. So the goal is to bring your Mavericks. Everybody drive their Mavericks in. We could check out each other's Mavericks because everybody's customizing theirs with different wheels, different stripes, lift kits, different accessories in the beds and everything. So let's just come together as a community and have a little fun. I think we already planned that's going to be one of the parks here in town, but I want to wait to release any information. But it'll be a lot of fun. So I think we'll really enjoy it. Also, I did put a link. There's several links in the description if you want to check those out. One of them is to Johnny's Car Care and Reviews. I watched his video before this one. So every Tuesday night, it seems like Johnny is putting out a video around 6 o'clock or so. You got to check out his videos. Tonight was really fun. So they... I love having seeing both of them on the video. It's really fun and very entertaining, and he has some great information, but they have a lot of fun as well. So definitely feed the poodle and make sure you subscribe to his channel and make sure you join his channel too. I became a member and along with Ridgeview there, and so I'm happy to oblige that and support him. So scheduling for this week, let's get started on that. So we're just going to run through each model, and I'll let you know if it is or is not scheduling. And then the Bronco is going to have limited scheduling this week. We have 3 allocations left that haven't been fulfilled yet. As of today, we had 2 of the orders that were pending. They did say as a note that Badlands with the Sasquatch package and the Wild Track will not be selected for scheduling this week. So just so you know that. If you have, one of those 2 situations, don't look to get it scheduled this week. It doesn't look like it's happening. Bronco Sport is not scheduling this week. We still have 1 allocation, which looks like that may either get fulfilled next week or may get pushed to the week after or to the next month. Edge is not scheduling this week. We still have 2 allocations left. Escape, not scheduling either. We have 6 allocations still left that need to be fulfilled. So I'm not sure if those are going to get fulfilled or get pushed to next month. Expedition does have limited scheduling this week for the weeks of 7/18 to 7/25. Oh, and by the way, on the Bronco, I didn't mention the dates, is from 6/27 to 7/27 for almost a whole month. So different months, different weeks in there are going to be scheduling for that. Whereas the Expedition is for the week of July 18th or the week of July 25th. We currently don't have any allocations but again, Expedition is should be here soon. And when it is, we'll be doing a video on the XLT trim based off that vehicle. Explorer will have limited scheduling this week, and they're scheduling for the week of 6/30 clear through to the week of 6/27. So pretty much the entire month of July. We do have 2 allocations, and we have 2 that are previewing as of today. One thing to note there is the technology package on the ST, King Ranch, and Platinum. Option code was changed from 65J to 65K. And also the 65P will not be selected for scheduling. So if you have the technology package that includes, I believe that's the one that includes the multi-contoured seats, you have to select the option 65K that takes the seat off if you want to be selected for scheduling. So keep that in mind if you have an Explorer order out there in one of those 3 trim levels, or if you have the technology package. F-150 is going to be selected this week. They are scheduling for the week of 6/27. We do have 2 allocations and 2 that are previewing, which is good. I just noticed a couple of different questions here. So Keith said a Ford customer service person told several all Broncos will be scheduled by end of June. Today she told me we will all will be scheduled soon. Don't think that's going to happen. We still have so many that need to be scheduled that I'd love to have that say yes, but I don't think that's going to happen. Especially because the end of June, next month, I guess, could be scheduling, but I don't know if they're going to schedule out. So, but no, I think we still got a couple months there. And Hector asked, hey, Tim, curious about something. Are you guys getting a Lightning demo? Yes. It hasn't left yet. It's been sitting, waiting to be shipped out. Don't think it's been shipped out yet, but we are getting a demo. So, hopefully soon. It is a Lariat trim, by the way, so pretty similar to what my build would be. Maverick is not scheduling. Notice I took a break right before Maverick. Maverick is not scheduling this week, and we have used all of our allocations. Hopefully most dealerships have. That was a very small amount that they were scheduling for. Most dealerships probably used all their allocations already. Mustang will have limited scheduling for the week of 7/18 or the week of 7/25. We do have 4 allocations and 4 that are previewing right now. Actually, we have another one because our GT 500 looks like is going to preview and actually get scheduled. We have 1 allocation, I believe, for GT 500. Mustang Mach-E is not scheduling this week. We still have an allocation not used. Ranger's not scheduling. We don't have any allocations for that. Super Duty is scheduling this week for the week of 6/27 along with F-150. We have 10 allocations. 3 are previewing today. And then Transit is not scheduling. That is building out. We did know that. So it should be closing out there, and they're just trying to plan out the last one. So I don't know if they're going to do any more scheduling or not for 22 before going into 23 scheduling. Transit Connect is scheduling this week for the week of 7/18 or 7/25. We don't have any allocations, don't really have any orders on those for that. Something to keep in mind on if you do have a Transit Connect, the orders with the Sync 3 will not be selected for scheduling. That is standard on the XLT and Titanium, so keep that in mind. Looks like they're going to try to schedule a bunch of XLs out and get those taken care of. Okay, let me answer a couple questions here. Is my volume level good? I want to make sure you don't have to crank up the level on your TV or your phone or anything, so make sure that's good. Looks like I'm pretty high up into the yellow and even almost to the red, so it should be good there. All right, so Clarence did ask a question. Have you found out why they are making so few Mavs in July? I haven't, to be honest. I think there's going to be, that's because there's a lot of June ones that are going to get pushed to July. So I think scheduling wise, they're only going to schedule out 2,800, but I think there's going to be some from June pushed, but they haven't said anything about that. So why there's such a low number. But I did notice that even the Bronco Sport numbers were much lower as well as what they were in June too. So it's not just the Maverick, it's that entire factory. All right, Noel said, is Lightning scheduling this week or later in the middle of June? One thing that I found out with Lightning is Lightning schedules at weird times. They don't have like a select, date because allocations are being a little different on the Lightning than it is on the F-150. So, we have one that hasn't been scheduled yet. So I'm not sure if it's been scheduled yet. We can check right here. Here we go. Yeah, I think I mentioned this, was it last week, the week before, but we did have somebody from another dealership that, we still have one unscheduled. Don't know if we're going to get that one. We were supposed to get 2 allocations, and it looks like we actually received more than that. We end up getting 1, 2, 3, 4, showing 5. We end up getting 5 that were in here. We're able to order, and 4 of them are heading this way. So that's double what they said we should have. So we already have 2 that are scheduled. 4 that are scheduled already out of the 5, so I'm not sure if it'll get scheduled. All right, so moving on to the Lincoln lineup, 23 Aviator, and we'll have limited scheduling for the week of 6/30 to 6/27 for the entire month of July, so it could be different dates there. We don't have any allocations left on a 23 Aviator. Corsair will have limited plug-in hybrids. So the Grand Touring, there will be limited Grand Touring scheduling for this coming up this week for the weeks of 6/30 to 7/27. We do have 6 allocations, but none of them are plug-in hybrids. So anyway, so they're going to get some of those. A little note on that is hands-free power liftgate will not be selected for scheduling. That is included in the technology package 53B in the Elements Technology Bundle 67C, which I believe that's what's on the plug-in. So those, if you have the power liftgate, if you have one of those packages, they will not be selected for scheduling this week. Nautilus is not being selected for scheduling. We do have 1 allocation yet to fulfill. Navigator will have limited scheduling, just like with the Expedition, for the week of 7/18 or 7/25. Couple notes on the Navigator. You need to add Active Park Assist 2.0 Prep Kit 98H, just like you did with the Mach-E. Just to let you know, Black Label Special Edition Package 68E no longer available to mend into this feature. And the second row massaging seats 21V or W are no longer available and not selected for scheduling. So any retail will be unbuildable until changed. So if you don't take that option off, second row massaging seats basically is not available. So if you have that on your build, you want to take that off or you won't get scheduled. Okay, a couple of different dealer notes here. I noticed the 23 model year Transit order guide is out now. Don't usually cover Transit too much. We only get a couple orders for that. Usually those are business owners and such, and that's something you'd want to sit down with a Ford person to really go through and build it the way you want to. So I don't usually do too many videos on those. Also this week, in fact, I think it was today or yesterday, it was released that the FordPass app and Lincoln Way app will remove a couple features from the app. So it says starting June 1st, we will be removing some less frequently used features of the FordPass app and Lincoln Way app to make room for even better experiences in the future. It does say the below features will no longer be available in the FordPass Lincoln Way for members who own vehicles with the connected modem. So if you have the modem, you won't have access to the journeys, to the app catalog, to the remote vehicle setup. And it says this feature is a one-time use prior to delivery for selected vehicles. And then it says a few map capabilities like point of interest search for fuel and parking, pin my spot, send directions to sync navigation for FordPass maps. So those won't be available anymore. And then vehicles that do not have the connected, so let's say they have, if you want to add the vehicle to your FordPass app, but you don't have a connected modem, then you'll have some of the same ones as well, but you won't have access to the vehicle health alerts, including the scheduled health reports, and you won't have access to the oil life, fuel level, tire pressure, and odometer will continue to be available in the vehicle, but will be removed from the FordPass. And that's going to be older vehicles that you've added. I remember I had a Fusion that didn't have the connected, and I added the vehicle to it anyway, just so that I could see some things in there. But so you know there, but you still be able to remote start the vehicle from anywhere, schedule remote start times, unlock your vehicle, see your fuel gauge, and a lot of those other things. Just a few things that they noticed people weren't using much. That are going to be taken off, and I know that they're bringing some other features for like vehicles, electrified vehicles, and if you want to use zone lighting and that kind of thing, you can be able to use that from the app. So hopefully, you know, seeing some features that we use more often come into the system. All right, how are we doing here? About 2 minutes. We'll go to is it true? All right, so let me go over a couple things that came up this week. One of them is people noticing an electrical problem with their hybrid Maverick. So it looks like to me that it's a wiring issue and how those are connected from what I understand. So you should be able to go to your dealer. They should be able to take care of that without any problems. But it has been an issue with a lot of people with the hybrid motors. Haven't heard really it being affected in the EcoBoost motors, just the hybrid version. You know, just keep that in mind. If you do have a hybrid, you might check that out. You know, there's a bunch of different theories out there. I'm not a mechanic, so I'm not going to, you know, talk about those. But you just want to make sure if you're having some issues, you might take it to your dealer to have them check it out. Hasn't been a recall on it yet. Hasn't even been a TSB. It's a technical service bulletin. That hasn't been released on it either. Once we have one of those, I'm really surprised that TSB hasn't been released on it yet, but probably will be. And then at that point, you can go into the dealership and they can take care of it for you ahead of time before it happens to your vehicle. But hopefully it's an isolated incident, not happening to too many vehicles. So anyway, let me grab a drink. All right. Couple quick questions here. Steve said, is there any way to track transporting from production to dealer? No, you can add your VIN to your FordPass app, but unless you're at that vehicle and you okay it and confirm it, you won't be able to check the location. And it's only going to check the location from when it started. We've had some people do that from here at the dealership where we go ahead and have them, you know, we put the modem in there and connect them for them. So they would do it on their phone. We'd go in there and hit it for them, for our customers. And we've had them try to track it. And what would happen is when they pull that vehicle onto the trailer and they turn it off, that's the location that it had. And then what they do is the next time that they turn the vehicle on, that would be the next location. So there's no way to really track it unless they turned it on. If they were driving with it, it'd be different, but they're not. They're traveling with it turned off. So you would not be able to track the actual location. And I've heard some people that actually had evidently somebody that put it on there, hit the OK button for them, so they were able to see where it was at. And then when it was, turned on to drive off of the train, they were able to see that, but you shouldn't be able to track that. So, all right, 10 minutes to go. So we're 20 minutes in. So is it true for this week? I did see some people had mentioned that the DIOs, if you didn't know what that is a dealer installed option. So on the Maverick, there's several different dealer installed options that you can add to your vehicle, like the window deflectors, the mud flaps, some things like that. Let me see if I can pull up some of these here. Let's pull up some Maverick orders, just to kind of give you an idea. Most of you out there are maybe looking at Maverick, but this thing, this involves other vehicles as well. So some dealer installed options that are available. There is for the Maverick, you do have the hood deflector. If you get the textured one, of course, first aid kit, roadside assistance kits, those just get thrown in. The console vault, if you get the the bed lighting, the looms one, you get the wheel locking kit. So basically they put those on. The smoker's package, you have those toolboxes, the swing toolboxes. They would install those once it gets here. Tailgate lock, window air deflectors, those are like dealer installed options. So means those are installed once the vehicle gets to the dealership. And what happens is when the vehicle gets released from the factory, then the part is sent to the dealership. And so it kind of looks like this. So some people had said at their dealership they didn't get the dealer installed options put on their vehicle, and the dealer told them that those were on constraint, that they were having issues getting them and they weren't available yet. Well, that's not true. They're going to be in a box like this that comes through the parts department, so they won't travel with the vehicle. They'll get there before the vehicle gets there. And we have a lot of these. It's going to look just like this. It's going to say DIO on it, green label. It's going to have your VIN number there. So it's real easy for the parts department to know that's a DIO. What we do at our dealership is when a DIO comes in, the guy back in delivery that delivers those back in parts, he just gives those to our PDI guy that sets up all of our vehicles, and then he actually sets them off to the side. So when he gets a vehicle and he looks on the window sticker and see there's a DIO, then he goes and looks for the box with that VIN number to match it, and he puts it on the vehicle. So you want to make sure if you have a DIO, make sure they install it. If the dealer says, no, we don't have it, it's not here, it was delivered to the dealership, it goes with the vehicle. So it's no different than like that bed liner or a bed cover being put on. But what happens is they see that vehicle, they pull that part, and the vehicle gets shipped out, the box gets shipped out, and there you go. So those will be delivered to the dealership ahead of time. They're not on constraint. We've had a situation where we've had a vehicle not scheduled because of a DIO. We had somebody that had 7 DIOs on their order, and their vehicle was not getting scheduled. We started taking some DIOs off, and then it got scheduled. So they're going to go out with the vehicle, or at the same time the vehicle will, and it will be delivered to the dealership. So just keep that in mind. Let me answer a few questions before I have a couple other things I want to talk about. So John said on here, he said on my sheet that has my VIN number and my scheduled build week for build, where on there would I find my priority number? You said most people should be at a number 10. If you already have a VIN number, you don't need to worry about priority code at that point. Priority code is totally out the window. Once you get a VIN number and you get scheduled, there's no reason to worry about the priority code at that point. Priority code is really so that you can see, what orders take priority over other orders. So, if somebody is like, we have a rental company that ordered a bunch of EcoBoost Mavericks. And so we put all those at like 11 and 12, whereas all of our other customers, we put them at 10. So that way, when they're going to schedule an order, those retail ones are going to get, looked at first before one of those rental company ones. So that's what that means. So once you get scheduled and you get a VIN number, priority code doesn't mean anything because you've already been scheduled. All right, so William asked, hi, how many allocations do you have for this month? 10 for the Maverick, and did L57S get a date? No, it did not, and we don't know yet. So we have a meeting I think it's Thursday or Friday, to go over June's allocations and such. We don't know any numbers yet. So technically, we're still in May this week. June's allocations probably won't start until the week of either the 6th or the 13th. to be honest. We'll do scheduling this week. So it will probably be the week of the 13th before we see June's allocations be looked at in that way. So we still don't know yet. Still got some congestion going on, so sorry. Monster First G Fuel. Yeah, well, we ran out of G Fuel and I didn't order any. So when I was in quarantine, I didn't order any, and so we're still waiting for some to come in. so I didn't want to take the last couple from the house, so I just got one here at the dealership. All right, Zach said, have you heard August production numbers today? August production numbers? No. I mean, we don't have that yet because, again, they're going to be scheduling probably for more or less. I guess we would be scheduling in June for August, but we don't know those numbers yet. All right, so Mike said, my electrical system went out while in the Smokies yesterday. Scared because they had no phone access, started working again. That's what I've heard on that from the message that I've seen is that it kind of it's like a loose wire kind of, and so then it like goes out and it doesn't work very well. You have to pull off, and then you wait for a little bit, turn it off, and then people have been turning it on and it's been working. So you know, if you have a situation like that, just try that for most people. But yeah, definitely get to the dealership as soon as you see that happen. Hopefully there's a TSB that comes out so that people can just take their hybrids in and have them checked out, or if it's a recall, one or the other, so that they can be taken care of. So I might throw that out to the brand manager and just see if he can give me some insight on when they're going to have a recall come out on that or anything, because it seems like it's been a major issue, because that's something you're off the side of the road. You know, that's a little different than, you know, some of these other recalls, but you know, that there, be nice to have some answers on that, or if they can just, or if you guys can just take your hybrids into the dealership and just have them, if it's a TSB, they can go in and just check it over and make sure that it's all connected well. From what I understand, it's a soldering issue and how they soldered it on there, and that it's not soldered on well or something. So anyway. All right, got a couple more minutes. Jan said, when will they cut off 22 Mavericks and roll them out? They've already cut off the 22 Mavericks. You can't order them anymore. And they will roll 23s. They're going to schedule for, they still going to schedule for the month of August yet. So in June, they'll schedule for August. July, they'll schedule for September. And then there's still some October left. So I don't know if they're going to still, they'll probably be done scheduling by the end of July, I would assume, to get us through into October. That would be my imagine. So that way, at the end of July, we'll know what orders were scheduled. In August, they can start thinking about what's going to get rolled over into 23. So we still have at least 2 more months of allocations. If not, they're going to go into the beginning of August. I don't know. Probably not. They're probably going to finish out in July for the month of October, but they'll probably more than likely July's allocation numbers are going to be like 2 months worth. To figure out what September and October is going to look like, but we still have 2 more months. So probably beginning of, you know, towards the end of July is when we'll know what orders aren't getting scheduled for 22. When will it? Okay. And then thanks for Tim for explaining about the DIOs. Yep. And then get this pull back up. All right. If see, Marcia said, if my build is pushed to 23, will I get the option of adding and changing to any new options and still keep my place? Yes. So what'll happen is that the order should get duplicated as a 23. And then if they're going to come out with any changes or anything, then you'll be able to say, oh, okay, there's a new package, or maybe there's a sport package now. You should be able to add those packages. Now, I don't know how it'll affect because I know right now, if you change the trim or the motor, well, right now you can't do either one of those, but if you did, it's supposed to affect your date or your price protection. So I don't think you can change those things, but you should be able to change options within those trims. So from what I understand. And then she had a backup question to that, or if I take delivery of my current order and order a 23 with new options, when it comes in, do you think I will get a full price of that 22 MAF? Well, it really depends on the dealership, whether or not they want to do that. They're probably going to still bring plenty of money, especially if your dealership is doing MSRP and you're buying the vehicle at MSRP, the 22. There shouldn't be any reason why it's going to be worth at least MSRP when the 23 comes in 6 months later, so, or however many months it is. So, all right. So a couple other things. I do have some links down in the description for a bunch of articles on the Expedition Timberline test drive, because it is an all-wheel drive machine there, or I mean an off-road vehicle there. So there are three article links down in the description. Check those out at your leisure on the Expedition Timberline edition. I think it'll be fun. So now we're going to get into today's topic. So as you can tell right there, it does say the 22 F-150 Lightning deliveries and getting your price protection. So deliveries did start. The first delivery happened. There's a picture of the very first retail customer that received his F-150 Lightning. So pretty cool. So he took delivery there at that dealership. They did a phenomenal job from what I understand. And he's actually been posting facts and different things from him driving his vehicle. But having that come out, I did want to kind of talk about, because I still am getting questions that people ask me about price protection. And even on the Lightnings, they need to be price protected. So here's a kind of a look at my my Dora. So there's my original door, not the whole thing. I kind of cropped it here for you, but right there you can see, if you look at the destination delivery, it's $16.95. So when I put my order in back in February, the dealer and destination the destination was $16.75. Well, now if you look, it is $17.95. So it's $100 price increase on all your Lightnings. So if you are out there, you have a Lightning, you have one coming in, you want to make sure you check your price protection. Make sure you're keeping your original Doras. I didn't do this, but I'm not concerned here about my dealership. But that door that I have is actually one where I tweaked it a little bit and I added the tow package onto mine. So that's the door that I have. So I'm making sure to keep that Dora, so that if there's any other price increases between now and July, which there could be, I want to make sure that I'm price protected for that. So right now, I already know that I need $100 less. So they're not doing D plan or any kind of plan pricing on these. It doesn't look like. So I'll be buying mine at MSRP, which is the same price as invoice on those. But I just want to cover that. Plus, we did get information on an update on price increase that's happening tomorrow. So here's all the models. They're going to get price increases tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So the Bronco Sport is going to be the PL 240, which is going to increase the base price by $300, the Big Ben price by $300, and the Outer Banks by $300 on the MSRP. Mustang is getting a price increase as well. It is PL 240, and it will increase all series prices by $265. On the SUVs, the Escape, the PL 245 is going to increase all series $265. Edge also is going to get a price increase of $265, and that's PL 240. Explorer is PL 260, which gets an increase of $265. And the Expedition is PL 245, and it's getting an increase of $425. And then Ranger, PL 235, all series are getting an increase of $265. See a common theme here. F-150 is a PL 250 pricing, and theirs are kind of varied. The XL is $275 or $375 more. XLT is $385, along with the Lariat's $385. King Ranch is $385. Platinum's $385. Limited's $385. Trimmer package $385, and Raptor is $385 more. Super Duty is PL 265, which is another $550 more on all series. Corsair, it's getting an increase of $210 on the base, the Reserve, and the Grand Touring is part of the PL 240. Nautilus, $530 on the base and $535 on the Reserve, and the Black Label is part of the PL 245. Navigator, $635 for the Standard, $640 for the Reserve, and $645 for the Black Label, and that's part of PL 240. And then on the 23 Aviator, looks like the base Aviator is $500 more, Reserve and Grand Touring is $510 more, and the Black Label is $535 more, part of PL 325. So as we can talk about this, we do, have to keep in mind all these different price increases are happening. F-150, this is, I think, about 3 or 4 price increases since January. So if you put an order in January, there's been about 3 price increases. I do have as you guys can tell, I do have a document that I'm keeping track of all these, and I'm actually keeping copies of all the different things. And I want to, send those out to everybody. But I guess if you're needing that, I can probably do that for you. Let's see what did I do with that? Here it is. I put them all in a folder. Oh, that's not the folder though. There it is. So I do have, and I can show you this, I do have all the different price increases for all the different models by the model lineup, what dates they got a price increase and such, and then I can go to the price increase and kind of show what all was increased. But so you want to keep track, and the point of this is you want to make sure you keep your original order sheet from when you ordered. Hopefully you guys have that, and then you want to compare that to anything that you might have added to your vehicle so you can get price protected for your vehicle. So it's going to happen on about every vehicle, and there's a lot more dealerships, you know, that are on this. I've had several dealerships reach out to me and say, hey, we're not sure how this works, can you help us? Which is great. You know, some of the vehicles, you know, it's just, you know, some dealerships aren't like willing to negotiate on that. It says, no, we don't get reimbursed. It's not on the private offer, and it's not a private offer. It's just something they need to honor. So I've helped several people to help their dealerships, and there's some dealerships been very receptive to that. And some dealerships aren't. There's some dealerships, I think most of them just don't know how to do it. And I don't think that their intention is to mislead the customer. It's just that in their mind and what they're saying, they don't see any difference. Well, here's the new invoice, and they don't understand it. Some people have reached out to their Ford rep, their zone rep, to get clarification of it, and that's worked pretty well. So you might, you know, encourage them to do that, but just make sure you get your price because they're all automatically price protected at this point. So Pat, you had a question, F&I question. Can you tell me if the Ford options financing is available for the Lightning? My Larry is in July, and I need to follow. You know, I did look in there, and they kind of show some sort of like options, or almost like a lease for the electric vehicles. And I looked on my van and pulled it, and it is showing like a 48-month, you know, residual and such like that in there, but with no special rates. So I'm not sure if they're offering any yet. So my assumption is I'll just, you know, find another lender and go through another lender than Ford options. So supposed to have Ford options. It's going to be similar to a lease, but kind of like in between like a lease and a regular finance deal. And they show residual amounts in there because people aren't planning to keep theirs but 3 years. So at the end of the 3 years, they can, you know, they have a residual amount. And I think what's going to happen there is if you do that, you get a residual and such. So you're only paying for what you use, but it's at standard rates, standard Ford rates. I don't see any special rates for these like you would normally see a lease. And I always look at that as I always tendency to look at a lease when the lease rates are good. I'm leasing my Expedition right now, but not my F-150. Because at the time when I got the F-150, the lease rates weren't good, so I didn't lease. But on the Expedition, they were great, so I did that. My Fusion was leased as well because it was a great lease rate at the time when we got it in 19. So that's kind of what I do on vehicles. If you don't have a special lease rate in there, if it's just going off standard rate, I don't feel like there's a point in doing that. You just will go ahead and buy it because at the end, it's probably not going to be any different. So within a couple of years, you can still own it a couple of years and drive it and trade it in. All right. For high, for low, said I placed my ordered for my Bronco December 21st, but ordered a 22 Bronco. If my Bronco build gets pushed to 23, should I expect a price increase? And if so, how much more? We really don't know how things are going to work. You know, we know that on the usually when it just gets pushed over, that price gets price protected from one model year to the next. When it goes over and then there's another price increase, that's usually where they go ahead at that point. What they do on the 21 Broncos is the way they did it. If somebody had a 21 and got pushed to 22 and then there was a price increase, well, what they're doing is they're honoring the price increase. I think most of those are like $1,500 to $2,000. But then what they're doing is now what increase from 21 to 22 happened, they're giving them as a private offer. So if you get a Bronco and you had original 21, you're going to have a private offer of a certain amount based on whatever yours was increased. And then you're also going to have a price protection of like another 1,500 to 2,000. So hopefully they should all be price protected. And I know Ford's really good about really trying to protect the customers and keeping that original order, because if it's their fault that they're not getting built quick enough, right? It's not your fault. So they usually try to honor that. Tim, do you know if Ford is giving 1.9 for 60 months? Right now, I'm not sure what the rates are, and I'm assuming you're talking about the Maverick. And I think right now I think it's 3.9 for 60 months, if I remember right. All right, looks like Sarah's in the group chat. Amazing with you guys, with baby Theo and Will running around. But so he must be sleeping. Yeah, she said that. So, all right, a couple other things I wanted to cover too. I figured I was just going to throw these in here when we had some downtime. So I did have a customer last couple weeks that has been emailing me about the ROVP. So he had an order that was put in October 1st with his dealership. He hadn't seen anything, and the status was still in status 10. And so he asked his dealership to check on the ROVP. His dealership said, "You're fine. Your order's in. We know what we're doing. You know, we sent in your ROVP. You should be good." He said, "Can you get me a picture of the approval?" So when they went in there, the ROVP said on hold instead of approval. So then they're like, "Well, we don't know why it's on hold." And they didn't know what else to do. And I said, "Well, somebody at the dealership received, you know, the information of why it was on hold and it didn't get an approval. Sometimes it's as simple as a blurry driver's license or something." So finally going back and forth, they finally figured out that it was the copy they sent in to get approved did not have his signature on it. So he signed that, they sent it in, they got the approval. So, but at that point, that approval happened May 20th. So luckily, you know, he's watching the videos and working with the customer via email back and forth. He was able to force the dealership to check on things. And he finally, you know, he checked on it, got an approval finally. And that's what it was. So if you send in your paperwork for ROP approval, even if it's on hold, those paperwork, as long as it was submitted before the deadline, you can still have that approval done. So if it's a blurry driver's license or the driver's license doesn't match up with the address on the order form, or you didn't sign it, those can still be done and be sent in and get the approval. The only problem with him is the other question was would his order be looked at as an October 1st order or a May 20th order because of when the approval was done? And the answer is that it'll be looked at as an October 1st order. But since his was approved after the snapshot, his is going to be looked at for scheduling for the month of June. So on the 15th of every month, Ford does a snapshot of all the dealership's orders that have an approval, ROVP, COVP approval. So in his case, his order wasn't approved yet at that point. So on the snapshot, his order wasn't looked at. So for the month of June, you know, they take that snapshot a couple weeks prior to. So the month of June, his isn't going to be looked at for scheduling, but for July, his order will be in there as an October 1st order and should get scheduled in the month of July. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Hopefully everybody's already approved and you've gone over and checked that over. But, you know, just in case, there you go. That's just something to always keep in mind. So, all right. Not seeing many questions in here. So, we do have a small group today. All right, don't think I had anything else to discuss other than questions. If you guys have any questions. No other questions? All right, so Tim said, if you have a 22 Lightning reservation, do you still get a 22 pricing? Actually, I don't think so. Whatever the pricing is when you submit your order. So let's say like I submitted my order in February and you notice that the destination delivery was $16.95. Well, if somebody had a 22 invite now and they put the order in, it would be the pricing for destination delivery would be $17.95. So it's when the order is submitted, not when you have your reservation, because they have no idea what you're ordering. So it's whatever the price is when you order is what you'll have. So if they do a price increase for 23, because 22 production is pretty much in scheduling and everything is already not scheduling, but all the orders and invites have gone out for 22. The next one's going to be 23. So if they do a price increase of $500 and 23, when you finally get an invite and do your order, that's the price that you'll have. So whatever it is when you submit your order. So, but you want to make sure keep that order sheet in case there's a price increase later before it gets scheduled and gets produced and shows up to your dealership. So, all right, I'm going to chop up that name. So I'm just going to just read the question. In regards to the Super Duty, is Ford automatically taking off the multi-contour seats or not be scheduling? No. What should happen is the dealership should let you know that it won't get scheduled unless we take that off. So they should be doing it that way. So you should reach out. We have not done that, just like with our F-150 owners on. That's another thing that's going to cause is the navigation and the 360L for anything from 100A on up to a 502A. Anything in there that has a navigation with the 360L, that has to be removed or it won't be selected for scheduling. So we need to actually reach out to our customers and let them know that, because technically they could keep it on there. Now, Ford did say they would start taking that off of all of the orders. And so if Ford takes it off, we don't have control over that. But what I found out, because they said they're going to do that on the Maverick, not the Maverick, but the Bronco, was they were going to take off the protective film, fender and film. We still see orders that have that option on their orders. So I don't think that they're really going through with that, even though they say that they're going to. So, but yeah, multi-contoured seat on the Super Duty is another thing that needs to be taken off your order. It won't be scheduled. So there's more and more of these, it seems like, coming on. So if you get lucky enough and you get scheduled before it, like ours, I need to look at the VIN now on mine, but should be good that it has everything. I don't think that I had mine. I'm gonna actually see my order, see my VIN number. Where is it? Right here. I'm curious. Make sure it shouldn't have been changed, but you know, if it was waiting on a chip, it could have been for that rear climate control, and whether or not we'll have it. So we're just gonna do a little quickie look here. Locator. Bunch of other questions. Give me a second. All right, so sometimes it just depends on when yours is built. Like that, we had the Expedition Timberline, when I was surprised that it had the controls on the back. All right, so they did not. They only took off the auto start stop. So we do have, okay, we will have the controls on the back of the console. So we squeaked through that one. All right, so we have some questions up here. So DB said, I have an XLT hybrid I ordered on October 26th. I want to change it to a Lariat. Don't do that. If I get rolled to 23, would I lose price protection doing that? Or would I get a 22 Lariat pricing? You will probably, we don't know yet, to be honest, until we'll probably get more information about that, but more than likely, they say if you change the PEP code, which is your trim, that will not be price protected anymore. We had somebody ask that today, actually, on the Bronco. They wanted to change from one trim to another, and I said, if you do that, you lose price protection. And I assume it's going to be the same way on the Maverick as well. So if you change the trim, if you have a 22 order push to 23, you will probably lose that. Just like if you have an EcoBoost, you want to try to get that hybrid, you'll probably lose price protection on that as well. But let's think about that. Is that the end of the world? Because we know the price protection was only like $80, right? For some of the trims. So yeah, I'd rather, you don't have to pay $80 more, but get a hybrid, which is $2,000, what, $1,000 less? It's going to still be less. So it just depends. You have to weigh that and see what would be better for you. Are the VIN sequence numbers for the Maverick shared with the Bronco Sport? Great question, and I don't know the answer. I assume they're separate, but I'm not sure. Clarence said, are you absolutely 100% sure, cross your heart and hope to die, that first editions will get built this model year? Mine has been moved to the week of, if you already have a build date, it will get built. So you say you have that yours has been moved to the week of July 4th, even though it's getting moved and getting pushed back. If you get a VIN number, you're getting produced as a 22. There's no doubt about that. All right, Steven, you wanted me to track yours. I actually looked it up the other day. But I haven't checked it today over the weekend. I normally check it with mine, but I didn't have to check mine since I got my email. And you probably should get an email just like I did. Yeah, yours is still saying it's on hold. But it hasn't been updated since May 16th. So anyway, you still have your date is actually earlier than my date, and mine's been shipped out, which is really crazy. So hopefully you get that chip real soon. And no problem, I don't mind you. I actually look at mine every day. So I don't blame you whatsoever. I mean, I feel like if I'm wanting to do it and I'm that excited about it, and I get to be around these vehicles every day, you guys have got to be just as excited as well. So All right, EMGT said, I have a 22 Bronco Badlands on order and yet to be scheduled. Do you know the next scheduled dates? 22 Bronco Badlands on order. Well, we do know that if you have a Sasquatch on your Badlands, it won't get scheduled this week. We know that. But they are going to do some scheduling this week, so yours could possibly get scheduled this week. So they're going to continue to do more scheduling. So, yep. And what did I say earlier? That was for the Bronco. If it gets scheduled this week, it's for the weeks of 6/27 to 7/27. So pretty much for the month of July. So, all right. All right. Joe said, I watched your 12 changes we need for Maverick. Did you hear anything back from Ford or the brand manager? Yeah. Yeah. I mentioned that a little bit earlier that he did actually watch it, and he did say some of those changes were coming for this model year. And he didn't tell me which. But he did say there was going to be some changes and some things that are standard, I believe. So hopefully that helps out. So, all right. Blanca said, our order is M49M. We checked, could not view if scheduled for June 6th. Would you be willing to verify? Thanks. Hey, and we got Kipik in the room. Should make a big deal about that, but all right. Let me look yours up. What was it? M. It's an M. All right, I lost my spot here. M49M. It says it is, looks like they moved it to the week of June 27th. So they did move that back there, Blanca. So, all right. All right, Morgan said, I reserved my Lightning around October. So will that make me a 23, 24 model, or do you, and how do I make sure they sell me at MSRP pricing? Well, again, just like I mentioned earlier, the pricing will be when you ordered the vehicle. So, whatever the price is when you ordered is what the price is going to be. You can't price protect something from now you haven't ordered yet. So it's when you put your order in is when you're going to be price protected. Being that you reserved in October, when they opened it in May, it's probably going to be a little while. So I know they're trying to hope, the reason they cut off the reservations when they did was they're hoping to get everybody that already had a reservation built in the 23 model year. But where yours is setting, I would say you're probably going to be real late in the model year if they are. So, all right. And DB said, what is the latest order date for a scheduled hybrid with Copilot 360 at your dealership? Well, that's kind of hard to tell. We haven't, well, here, I can do this. I could tell you what's not scheduled. Here we go. There's our unscheduled ones. I can tell you that. We still have some that are in June, July. You're saying hybrid with the Copilot 360. Yeah, we still have several from, we have 2 from June still, not scheduled. One does have a tonneau cover and a protective film and splash guards, 3 constraint items. So that's why he's not getting scheduled. Then we have another one that's got the toolbox and the looms, which I think there's something there because there's 2 of our orders that have the DIO, the looms lighting. So I think that might be a reason. So I actually told somebody to take that off and theirs got scheduled. So don't know. And then we have another one that has a tonneau and splash guards. So again, that's not. So, and that's in July. And then another one with the looms, by the way. So I would say if you have that, you'd almost take it off just because you can always get that added later. And then probably the oldest one is August that we have, so anyway. And you say latest order date that might have gotten scheduled. We had a bunch from June, July, not too many from August. We did have some in August, and I don't think we have any hybrids that have been scheduled from the month of September yet. All right. That answers any questions there. All right. Is it true that Ford announced if you have the trailer hitch option ordered on our Bronco, it will not get built for until 23? They did tell us that's a constraint items to have people take off the tow package. That is true. So we've been asking people to try to take those off of their builds. So, all right. So Master Min Said, since I postponed my Lightning Pro order, will I get first crack when order banks open up again? Yes, if you already got an invite for a and you wanted the Pro version, which wasn't available, and you extended yours to 23, then when 23 comes around, your invite's going to be sitting in there. You should be able to go ahead as soon as 23 opens up. You should be able to get like re-invited, or that should be in there right away, and you should be one of the first ones to be able to order again. Especially since you lost out on the Pro version already, they're going to make sure you get the first chance at a Pro version before they send out any more invites. So I would assume that. I don't have any information on that yet, but that would be my, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, because a lot of the people that extended theirs just because they wanted the Pro or the XLT and weren't able to get it. So you would think that they would make sure they open that up for those customers first, and then allow them a couple weeks to submit their orders so they can get their Pro version or their XLT version, and then start sending out invites again. All right. EMGT said, my Badlands order is a non-Sasquatch. That's good. Hopefully I do get scheduled. Thanks for the info. No problem. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? It's only 8. All right. By the way, anybody that's still in there, if you could just pray for my grandson, Jaden. He's not. He's going through a UTI. He's got spina bifida. He's 4, but he's typically, kids with spina bifida tend to get UTIs. This is the second one he's had, but he is actually he's at the hospital admitted for observation to just double check before they give any antibiotics exactly what infection he has. So if you could just pray for him and his mom. She's right now that they're resting comfortably, from what I understand, right before the live stream started, but they're on my mind, so just wanted to throw that out there. All right. Any other questions? None? No questions? I will probably be either tomorrow, or need to do some editing, or the next day. I'll probably be going through our orders, the ones that are scheduled, because I know, when they first get scheduled, they're scheduled for a certain time frame, and sometimes those get pushed back. So I might actually go through and see if any of our orders got pushed back into the dates and everything. So get a little more information. Share that next week. Plus, we have our wholesale information that we're going to have for the month of June at the end of this week. So next week, the main topic for next week will be on June production information. So I'm looking forward to sharing that. I really think we're going to get a lot more dates of when order guides are going to be available, and order banks are going to open up, we should say. And so I'm really looking forward to it, because this summer is going to be filled, month of July, August. It's going to be really fulfilled. We're going to have a lot of order guides coming out. And I'll be doing a lot of videos on the changes from one model year to the next, for those of you that have them that are getting pushed, that kind of thing. So, just keep, that's going to keep me busy for the month of probably more like July, August than anything, but we'll have a lot of that there. So anyway, Top Gun. We did go see Top Gun Maverick on whenever that was. What day was that? That was on Sunday. We went to see that. That was fun. It was a fun movie. It does probably help to watch the first one if you haven't. We had one person that went with us that hadn't watched the first one, and she was reading the recap, the Cliff Notes version of the first episode before it started. But it was really good. So I recommend it. It was good. It's just as good as the first. So So if you like the first Top Gun movie, you got to go see the second one. So. And in Salina, I think we only paid like $7 for our ticket, so it wasn't too bad. I think I think the popcorn and drinks cost more than the ticket. Although I will say Tom Cruise is getting old, but so am I. So. All right. Okay, so I don't think we have any more dire questions, but if you do, of course, drop those questions, fordvideoguy@gmail.com, and I can answer those. All right, Jerry said here, said I reserved a Lightning on May 24th. Any guesstimate when I will receive an order invite? We noticed we had a bunch that, did theirs real early in May, because May 19th was the first night that they opened that up. Being, you're within 5 days of that, probably the summertime, sometime this summer is my assumption. I know they're going to open it up this summer. We don't know when this summer. Usually that means July. But so I'd maybe say August, September would be a good guess there for you. So, all right. And CR said, I'm real excited about my 1 year order anniversary date in 3 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I will tell you this. We had one I looked at the other day. I looked it up, and they're scheduled to be built like after it's been a year. So, but if that makes you feel any better, I know of a person that had a Bronco that they reserved in August of 2020 and still has not received their Bronco scheduled yet. The Bronco hasn't been scheduled yet. So theirs may get built 2 years after they reserved. So if that makes you feel any better. So, but anyway, I sound like David Spade. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing. All right. My Maverick gets pushed to 23. Can I cancel that order and order through you? Well, at that point, it becomes a new order. So you wouldn't, have that timestamp, because what'll happen is any order that gets pushed from 22 to 23 will probably have a date, an order date a week before all the other orders for 23. And so they'll show it that way. So my fear is, I know on the Bronco right now, if I look at my Bronco orders, I can see which ones were pushed over from 21 to 22, because they're all dated, October 8th, and the rest of them are ordered. They were all say the October 18th, I think. So I can tell those. So I'm wondering if that means all of the, 22 orders are going to all have the same date. That wouldn't be fair to those that still hadn't been scheduled from, October versus somebody from January. So hopefully that's not, they could still see that date. And I'm assuming that we on our end see the receipt date, but Ford still sees the original order date and they still go in that order, I would assume. So anyway, so we're really hoping for some big numbers this month, not only just for a Maverick, but all of our trucks. We need some big numbers. Our F-150 Super Duty, we need some major numbers. We still have over 100, and I think we have close to, let me look. Where's my webdo? Yeah, look at F-150. I mean, we still have close to 200 Maverick orders that need to be scheduled, but we have 279 F-150 orders. Even if I just want the retails, right? If I take out all of our stock ones, we still have 146 F-150 orders in there need to be scheduled that are non-stock orders. So 146. So F-150, we need some big numbers at F-150 too. And then Super Duty. Because I imagine with F-150, they're going to say no more stock eventually. Super Duty, we still have 185 Super Duty orders need to be scheduled. So it's just as bad as the Maverick for us. So those are three lines that we really need to see some big numbers. The rest of them, SUVs and all that, we're in pretty good shape. But when it comes to trucks for us, that is our bread and butter. And we need some big numbers for June and July to get these bunch of our orders scheduled. So hopefully we see some big production numbers coming up for us and for everybody else as well. Anyway, so, all right. Well, I'm going to end the stream there. Thanks, guys, for joining me tonight. Smaller group, so I appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something from today, and you can take that, and hopefully it helps you out. So, we know the next couple of weeks are more of makeup weeks for scheduling. So just bear with us. We'll have some fun information next Tuesday, so make sure you come back for that. And share that out with everybody, because we'll go into some of the production information. I think we'll have some really good information on the scope of what's going to be happening for production for a lot of the vehicles for July and August. Some scheduled 2 months out, some scheduled just a month out. So we'll get some good information next week, and hopefully we get some information on Lightning as well, and all the different models on order guides and order banks, and we'll have all the information on a lot of models more than just the Maverick, and we get some more information. So hopefully it ought to be a fun episode next week. So definitely make sure you come back then. If you're not subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. hit the notification bell as well so you can get notified next time we have another video uploaded to the channel. And don't forget too, if you want to become a member, just, you know, even on this video there, just go down to that join button and you can join there, learn more about it. Hitting the join does not make you subscribe. You actually have to put your information in, but it just gives you more information about the membership perks and such. And also if you want to listen to this as on a replay, don't forget, check out all the different podcasting apps that we're already on right now: Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon Music even. And then hopefully by the end of the week, we'll be on Apple Podcasts as well, which puts us on even more of those. So you can check those out there, or you can go right to our website, McArthur.com/FordVideoGuy, and you can find it there as well. So again, thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Until next week, we'll see you later. Thanks, guys.